Welcome back, children. So, this is the continuation of lesson number 5, more on PowerPoint 2007. Okay, so if you remember in the part 1, I have showed you how to create the table, how to format the table, and how to insert the data inside the table in a PowerPoint presentation. So, in today's content, you are going to learn about different components of the chart and inserting a chart. So, chart is an effective way to display a data in a graphical and pictorial form. Okay, so exactly what the chart does it chart make it easier to show the comparison and the growth and also the relationship among the values in the data. Not only this, chart provides an accurate analysis of the information. So when we insert a chart, a data is displayed in the special window called a datasheet window. Okay, and the chart gets updated automatically as we make some changes in the data. So let us begin. Now let me insert one new slide as I am going to create a chart in this slide. Okay, so to insert the chart, just after the home tab you can see the insert tab here. So click on the insert tab. Okay, so under the illustration group you can see a chart button here. Click on this chart button. You are going to see different types of charts here, like say column chart, line chart, pie chart, bar chart, and many more charts are here. So you can use any of this chart. So today I am going to show you how to create a chart using a column chart. Okay, so let's click on the column chart. In the right hand side you can see different column styles. So you can choose one of the column style and click on OK button. Okay, so you can see that the chart has been plotted on the left hand side, and on the right hand side you can see a datasheet view. Okay, so as I make some changes in the datasheet view, accordingly the chart will get plotted. Now you can see here a series. Okay, in row number 1, series 1, series 2, series 3. If you see in the column number A, you can see a different categories here. Okay, so I am going to plot the chart using this data series. So in series 1, let me give some of the name of the subjects. Suppose say English. Okay, in series 2, let me write down as a math, and in series 3 let me write down as a science. Now you can see that as I change the name in a data, you can see here even in the plot area, accordingly the series name has been changed into English, maths and science. Okay, now if you see below, we call this as a category axis or a x-axis. Now as I'm going to change the name, okay, I'm going to enter the new record in our datasheet view. You can see accordingly the chart will get plotted here. Okay, so in category 1, let me write down the name of the student. Suppose say Mohan. And in category 2, let me write down another name as Sunita. So let me fill 4 different names of the students. Okay, and Shimran. Now you can see that as I have changed the name in the datasheet, here accordingly the name has been plotted in the chart. Now I am going to enter the marks randomly for four of these students. Okay, so let me just write down. Now you can see that as I change the data here, what happens here is we call these as a data marker. So you can see a long cylindrical or a rectangular bar. So this bar is known as a data marker. And what this data marker actually represents, this data marker, it represents the subjects. Okay, so whether it may be the English, maths or science for different students. So let me quickly put some of the marks for different students here. Okay, 42, 56. Now you can see on the left hand side, accordingly the chart has been plotted here. Okay, now for the time being, let me close this window. Okay, I'm closing a datasheet window, and let me increase the size or of the chart. Now you can see the chart clearly here. Though the chart has been created on different students, suppose say Mohan, Sunita, Rohit, Simran. Okay, and this, as I have said, this data marker, it represents the marks, okay, for the English, maths and science for different students. Now, though you have created the chart, your chart is still incomplete. Now what I need to do is I have to insert the different components of the chart here. So if you want to insert the different components of the chart, then we need to go to the layout tab. Okay, you can see here we call this as a layout tab. Now once you click on the layout tab, we call this as a component of the chart. Say the chart title, axis title, legends, data level, data table and grid line. So first let me enter the chart title. Okay, click on the chart title. I just want to insert the title above the chart. So click on above the chart. Let me delete this one and give a title for this chart. Suppose say mark sheet. Now we call this as a x-axis or the category axis, and we call this as the y-axis or a value axis. Now you need to rename the x-axis as well as the y-axis. Okay, so let me go to the axis title here and click on the primary horizontal axis, that is the x-axis. Just click it. So below the x-axis you can see the axis title here, so you need to rename it. So exactly what is the x-axis? The x-axis is the name of the students. Okay, Mohan, Sunita, Rohit and Simran. So let me write down as students name. Okay, now what does the y-axis represent? The y-axis represents the value. Suppose say 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. This is the marks for different students. Okay, so again I'm going to the chart title button. Now this time I'll go to the vertical axis title, that is the y-axis, and let me rename it. Okay, so let me write down it as a marks obtained, okay, by different students. Now so I have given the chart title, I have named the x-axis as well as the y-axis. Okay, now next is legend. So if you see on the right hand side, we call this as a legend that represents different subjects. Okay, so what you can do is you can put this legend either to the top. So legend at the top, you can see the legend will appear at the top. You can also put this legend at the left hand side. Okay, so wherever you want you can just place this legend. So let me show the legend on the right hand side. Now next is data level. Now if I say here what is the English marks of Mohan, okay, you know that the Mohan got between 70 to 80, but exactly you can't say what is the marks of a Mohan. So in this case, what we are going to do is I will use a data level. Okay, so here is the data level. Click on the drop down arrow of the data level, click on show. Now you can see that it is showing me the marks of Mohan in different subjects. Okay, now you can clearly understand actually what is the marks of Mohan in English, maths and science. Okay, so for this purpose we need a data level. Now if you want to insert the data table, you can also insert the data table. So click on the drop down arrow and click on show data table. You can see a table has been shown just below the chart. Now if you don't want a data table, just click on none, so that data table will get removed from your chart. And finally the next one is the grid line here. Okay, so again you can have a major grid line, you have a minor grid line, you can use both major or a minor grid line. See, you can see a grid line that has appeared, and you can also use the vertical grid line both as a major or a minor. Okay, Now you can see a vertical grid line as well. So we call this as a component of the chart. So I have showed you the different components of the chart, like say axis, chart title, x-axis, y-axis. So these are known as the legends. Okay, so if you see at the top, we call it as a data level. I have showed you how to insert the data table as well, and we call this as a grid line. So these are the different components of the chart. Okay, without this chart, sorry, without this component, your chart looks empty. So you need to put at least 3 to 4 components of the chart once you create the chart. Is it clear? Okay. Now, if you want to bring back the datasheet, how will you bring back the datasheet? You have to click on the design tab. So click on the design tab here. Okay. So under the data group, you can see our edit data button here. So click on this edit data button. Okay. So you can see the datasheet has appeared. Now, if you want to insert or suppose say a new subjects, so simply go there and write down say Hindi. Now, as I write Hindi, you can see here on you are going to see a new legend that consists of a Hindi. Okay, see the Hindi has appeared. Now you can put some of the marks for Hindi. As I put the marks, you can see one more data marker will be visible here. See, you can see one more data marker. Okay, so I have already said that as I change the data in our data sheet, accordingly your chart will get plotted. Okay, so let me put another number here, another marks. Okay, now you can see accordingly the chart has been plotted. So you can enter as many subject as you want. You can enter as the name of the students as many as you want, and put the marks according to your need. Okay, accordingly the chart will also get plotted. So in this content, I have showed you how to create the chart, how to walk between the chart window and a datasheet window, and I have also showed you how to use the different components of the chart. Okay, so for a moment, let me close this datasheet window. So if you want to format the component of the chart, simply click on the different component. Okay, just select it, go to the home tab. So you have already done this one, the font formatting. So whichever color you want to use, click on the color. You can also increase the font size as well. Okay, if you want, you can change the handwriting style too. So similarly, go to the marks obtain, give the color that you want to apply to it. Okay, you can change the handwriting style for it as well. So similarly, go to the x-axis, select the student name, give one of the color that you want to apply. You can increase or decrease the size of the text as well, and you can change the handwriting style too. Okay, so this is all in today's session. So I want all of you to practice it at home. Thank you, students.